What's up, my folks? I hope everyone's doing good today. We're just going to jump right off and we're going to get into skin problems and hot spots and stuff like that. The summer's here and I've gotten a lot of emails about what to do about these. Now, there's several different things that could be, many different things it could be. I hit it like it's everything, okay? And the only way you can really know is if you have the vet do a culture, skin culture and all. But I just hit them like it's everything. First of all, you want to wash the dog. Wash the dog. I've been washing him. He's had about 3 or 4 baths so far, and sulfidine and everything else. And I treat every spot, every lesion. Now in the south we have gnats. Gnats will get on any spot that's open on a dog and just eat him alive. They literally eat the dog alive. So first of all, you want to keep any kind of gnats, fleas, ticks, anything like that off the dog. So there's nothing else they got to deal with. Okay. Second of all, you want to treat the area. Now, when they start having these spots, first thing I do is I'll go in and I'll mark them with the blue coat. I don't know if that blue coat helps anything, but I mark every spot that comes up every morning on the dog and every evening. And now I treat the dog just like with him. I'm going to tell you what I did with this treatment. Now, I don't know if this is as prominent in more bloodlines than others. There's things that pop up people don't want to talk about and shit. You know, some dogs have skin problems, okay? And now, the last dog I've ever had them bust up like this quick with, it's usually an immunity thing. Like the heat just beats them down. They're not as heat tolerant. So he only stays on the chain in the morning and the evenings, and then he stays in the cool crate. I've actually been keeping him in a really cool spot and keeping him calm. But you want to wash him out. I wash him with sulfidine. I'm doing about 3 times a week with him so far. Mark the spots so you can tell if there's any new spots popping up on them. You understand what I'm saying? Because when they come on, a lot of times they'll come on fast and they'll spread quickly. I hit it like it's anything. If you think maybe he could have ringworm, hit it for ringworm. The sumbitch might grow up into be ringworm. So go ahead and treat it for ringworm, fungus, anything. I'll walk around, I'll hit them like, use whatever, lopramine, ringworm medicine. I use any antifungal medicine I can put on them. Any kind of thing to keep them cleaned up and cured. Even apple cider vinegar on the dog. I mean, if it helps keep the gnats off of them, it's going to help your spots, okay? Brush him out, okay? These dogs, the last dog I had them pop up like this was dogs that were actually off of Mayday. When they got about his age and it got real good and hot and they popped in too. And I tell you what, you don't take them serious, it'll cost you a dog, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, they're nothing to play with. I've seen people say, oh, they'll heal on their own and all that shit. I'm going to tell you what happened to me, okay? Because I can't tell you what happened to anybody else and their dogs. I can't say anything else. I can only tell you my experiences with these dogs. I had 2 brothers off of Mayday. They were double bred Mayday, right off him back to his daughter. They got about 11, about this age right here. And I was going to show, Mom come over to visit my daughter. She was born. She was walking around. And I said, hey, come here, look at these spots on this dog. Because Mama T, she's a straight dog woman. You know, she can heal them up. And I walked out there within a day. Because I used to have a lot more dogs. I had fucking 10 times what I got now. So I would feed once a day and go out there and take care of anything I could. You know, my little caddy I had in my hand. And take care of them. Well, I went out there and this dog was laid on its side. Now listen to me. If I'm lying, I'm fucking dying. So I grabbed the dog up real quick, come to the back porch. It was dark already. And he was literally going in shock. His gums were white. He had hot spots on him. He looked bad. But other than that, I didn't have any idea what was wrong with this fucking dog. So he was going into shock and I was looking at these spots and I noticed they had little holes in them. Well, I ran in the house, I put a pot of boiling water, about that big, and I poured about a 1/4 cup of bleach in it and some Dawn dish soap and got it real hot and steamy, and I come out and I literally poured it all on that fucking dog. I don't know why I did it. It was just something I just said, I'm pouring this shit on this dog for anything in it to kill it. If you would have seen the fucking maggots coming out of that dog's spots from one day now, them flies that got in that shit, or whatever it was, and laid little maggots up under that dog's head, and it was putting him into shock. And when I poured that hot water and that bleach and that soap on him, they poured out of his pores like something in a fucking horror movie. I took that dog. Now, this dog was a very well-bred dog, kind of like this one. He was important to me. I didn't want to, nothing happened to the damn dog over a fucking hot spot. You know what I mean? That's how bad, that's what it turned into. A hot spot turned into almost a dead dog. So I brought him out of shape. I brought him back in the house and washed him again and washed him down, and he got to where he could stand up, and I started getting him feed, doing my nursing back and getting back in shape. And that dog actually turned out into something. He turned into be a good dog. That dog was right off of Mayday back to a dog named Alice, and he ended up being a very, very high-ranking dog. But he would have died that day if I'd have went to bed that night and not went out there to look at him and fix him up again, because I knew he had something wrong with him. And literally, he and his brother, I went right next to him, and his brother was starting to get him also. The heat was just busting those dogs apart. This dog here is having problems with it. So what I'm doing with him is what I do with all mine that get them spots, which I haven't had them in years. Certain dogs get them. I had a few strains that was busting up with them, and I just kind of culled them from my program and didn't use them in my program anymore. But this little dog's starting to get them, and what I do is he's going to go straight on the antibiotic treatment, straight up. I've already put he's on 3 days on antibiotics. You can use what you think, but use something for a good skin bacterial infection or whatever, because we don't. Unless you culture it, you're not sure what it is. And then gnats get on it, and fleas and flies and everything. If you got any problems, it'll make it 10 times worse. So make sure that dog's clean, the bedding's clean, there's no fleas in your yard. You can't help flies. You just gotta. I guarantee you, I spend over $100 a month on my little yard in fly medicine, on fly sprays. Much more than that on flea and parasite treatment. I mean, if you want to get in the dollars, it's not cheap raising these dogs. I mean, if you really wanted to amount the dollars that I put into taking care of these dogs, I could probably, I'd be set a lot right now. Let me put it that way. I wouldn't have to worry for much. And it just costs money, and take your time, get the right shit. I'm washing him every couple days in the betadine shampoo, not betadine, it's a sulfidine shampoo. You got to let him out and get, like play out here and do his stuff. He likes laying in the mud, and then wash him off, keep him clean. But run them on the antibiotic cycle. Keep them clean. Every morning, go out and dot anything that comes up with some blue coat, something that you can notice it. Like I said, I treat it with anything it could be, treat it for it. Okay? Anything it could be, treat it for it. And throughout the day, make sure he's clean. Make sure he's got fly medicine on him, any kind of off medicine, anything that you got to put on him to keep gnats off of him, or bring him inside. That's my advice to you guys, because I know I've had several emails with you guys. I told y'all I was fighting them too. Well, I'm fighting them on this one dog. Some dogs are just more heat tolerant. I mean, that's just the way it goes, and they don't break out. And some dogs do. And unless you take them to the vet, you're not going to know. So like my suggestion to you is treat that son of a bitch just like it's anything it could be, or take him to the vet, because it can turn into something really bad. And the guys in the city think you don't have to worry about that shit. Man, I'm telling you, there's flies everywhere. Them blow flies and shit, man, whatever them things are. Screw flies is what they're called. They say they're around livestock, and I've always lived where livestock was, where my dogs were. So I've always had that problem with them. So any kind of hole, lesion, cut is very, very serious. Take it very, very serious, okay, guys? I mean, and I hope that helps you. It's something that you got to battle. It's not something that's going to go away real quick. And keep him on a good cycle of those antibiotics, especially if he's really hot spots. It's called pyridemia or some shit like that. But if he's really got those, you want to make sure you really take care of him, or just cull the whole thing from your program. Because, I mean, or it could be something that you're doing. Feed, flies, fleas, ticks, anything like that to break their immune system down. That's when they're going to pop up. But certain dogs have more trouble with them than others. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'll tell y'all the truth. Like I always say, there is no best solid 100% bloodline. You have to make your cross and your dogs the way you want them. Like these dogs right here would never probably bust up in the hot spots or anything like that if they lived in an area that the humidity and the heat wasn't this bad, and we didn't have all the fucking problems like gnats and shit like that getting on. He'd probably never have a problem. But like I've always said, the Dirty South will test your dogs. It will test your dogs just living in it. Just living in it. So don't think that you get a free pass and you got it, you're going to have it made because, you don't do nothing but have a pet. If you let that pet sit outside all day while you're at work, there's a good chance that heat's going to break his ass down, and there's a good chance he's going to fucking start falling apart on you. And when he does, it's up to you to take care of him or figure out what you're going to do. Well, like with him, we're just going to continue on and get him right. It's no big deal to me. Little shit like this is just one little hiccup in the dogs. I mean, and like I said, it could be something. He could have a food allergy. I just went from a higher protein food back down. You know, in the summer, you don't need to give all that protein and all that shit if you're not really working them dogs hard, you know. You don't need all that. So, you know, just things to think about, guys. It's something serious. Don't fuck around with it. Don't let them try to heal on their own. I know I've seen things that say, oh, they'll be okay and all that shit. But okay my ass when you come home and that motherfucker done had screw flies visit. You go out the next day and you're going to have a dead dog laid in that doghouse. I'm just telling you from experience, guys. That's all I can tell y'all. It's from my experience with these dogs. And my experience from these dogs is shit like that can turn real bad real fast. So y'all take care. Y'all keep bulldogging and stay on top of them.